What up, Ectomorphs? This is Efrem B. Martin. What's going on with you? How you doing today? I'm blessed. Hey, I'm back. I'm making another video, and I just wanted to send a shout out. I got a lot of my last video on supplementation. I had an email box. Well, I had a box full of emails. Got a lot of good responses from Ectomorphs, and I was quite surprised, actually, the amount of emails I received. I think I received over 100 emails since posting that video up on YouTube. So once again, Ectomorphs, my goal is to reach out to you and continue to give you information that can help you become better as a human being, become better and smarter when it comes to training, diet, nutrition, the whole gamut. So, once again, I feel blessed. Thank you for your responses, positive and negative. So it's all good. And, I just wanted to, put that out there and, let you know that I once again, I do appreciate all the responses, whether they are positive or negative. So this video, what I'm going to do is, I decided with this video I'm going to do a Q&A, question and answers, and this is going to be part one of part two, of two parts actually, that I'm going to do. I received a lot of really positive emails, and like I said, I have a very open mind. It doesn't bother me negatively if I get responses that are negative. It doesn't bother me at all, because I believe that everybody has a voice. Everybody can say and express how they feel. I don't take any of this stuff personal. It's not personal for me. So I'm just here as a vehicle for all Ectomorphs, to let them see for themselves that I am 100% Ectomorph, and if you put your time in the gym, this is what you can become. So I'm not saying I'm the example, but what I am saying is, I have been training for 22 years. I am 48 years of age. I've put my time in the gym, and I continue to put my time in the gym. So therefore, I do not consider myself an expert in any way, shape, or form. I consider myself an informational provider, and I'm more than willing to share information with anyone who's willing to learn, just like I am still willing to learn. So, that's what I'm about, and that's what I do. So, I want to go to the question and answers portion of this video, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to answer 5 questions that were addressed to me after the supplementation video. So here we go. Okay, the first question comes from John A. John A. wrote, he says, Efrem, will you please expand on your views of personal training, and do you believe that personal trainers at commercial gyms are worth the price? Okay, so thank you, John A. for your email. And once again, when it comes to personal training, for me, personal training is a very sore spot for me, and let me explain to you why. Being a fitness trainer, I take my passion and I take my career, what I do, very serious. I'm not a person that went out and got a certification and all of a sudden I show up and here I am. So I take what I do very serious, because I'm in this to help individuals become better. I'm not in this to gain notoriety. I'm not in this to be at the forefront of the next trainer or whatever, whatever. I'm here because I'm deeply committed to helping individuals become better through fitness and health. So when I start talking about personal trainers, it's very dear to me, and it upsets me in a lot of ways, because when I first started as a young 26-year-old going into the gym and training, I came across personal trainers that were competitors. Back in the day in 1991, when I first started training, all the personal trainers I knew, whether they were at Bally's or, there wasn't no 24-hour fitness, so Bally's was probably one of the biggest commercial gyms. But at all the pro gyms, because I started training at the World Gym, which was a pro gym, and the trainers that were there, they were competitors, and they inspired me because you would look at them, they were bodybuilders, and they were living the lifestyle, So what has happened though is that corporate America got involved in fitness. Okay, so what has happened is bodybuilders have been replaced by quote unquote fitness professionals. It bothers me. It really, really bothers me. This is a sore spot for me. And I really don't go on tangents, but this is a sore spot for me because corporate America came in and replaced, competitors who are personal trainers with fitness professionals. To me, I just think it's a joke. I think that you got these 140 pound, 50 pound guys, and they look good, they photograph good, they pretty much all do the same thing, plyometrics, cardiovascular, but they don't build muscle, and most of these guys, they're little guys, they really are. And it just bothers me that corporate America was allowed to come in and replace bodybuilders that have put their time in the gym, whether or not you agree with it. They put their time in the gym, but you never see on any of the TV programs, Biggest Loser, any of these programs where there's weight reduction, you don't see bodybuilders. You know why? Because bodybuilders build muscle, right? And bodybuilders are a threat. So it's just a sore spot for me. It pisses me off. It really does. I don't cuss a lot, but it really pisses me off that this has been allowed to happen. I've already said in one of my other videos, personal trainers, to me, I believe, the majority of personal trainers that I've come across, especially in the state of Colorado, they are not living the lifestyle. And when you work at a commercial gym, you get clients. You don't got to work for anything. See, I'm an independent fitness trainer. I'm not allowed to go into 24-hour fitness or Bally's or any of these other clubs because I'm telling you, if I was allowed to work independently in any of these clubs, most of those trainers would be unemployed. I promise you, their clients would want me to train them. Okay? But corporate America came in, saw an opportunity, seized it, and they take the majority of the money from these trainers that work at these commercial gyms. That's why I would never offer my services at a Bally's or a 24-hour fitness, because you're not going to take my money. What I earn, I keep. Point blank, period. I'm an independent fitness consultant. I'm an independent fitness coach. I'm an independent fitness, whatever title you want to put on it. I'm living the lifestyle. I represent the part well. I look good year round, and all of my clients, I've never had a client not be satisfied with me. Okay? I have to turn clients down because I don't have enough slots in a given day. That's how busy I am. So, once again, I'm going to go into the next email, but personal trainers, to me, anybody can become a personal trainer, and that just bothers me because I've put in 22 years. And to have some little guy, and I mean this, some little 150 pound guy get certified, and then all of a sudden, he's a master trainer, whatever that is, a master trainer. Yeah, anyway, you have all this so-called knowledge, but you don't know how to apply what you learn. They all, if you go to any commercial gym, I promise you, they all carry clipboards and they all do the exact same thing, right? They do not know how to build relationships with their clients. They're not interested in that because they got to earn money for the gyms they work for. I build relationships with each and every one of my clients because it's very important. My ultimate goal when I train my clients is they should be able to go into any gym, any facility in the United States of America and be able to train and get busy. Because what I'm showing them and what I'm modeling for them, they can go anywhere in the world and train. Not just in the United States, but they can go anywhere in the world and train. All of my clients use 95% of the equipment that's in the gym. Okay? So I teach them how to train themselves. So that's all I'm going to say about personal training. I think most personal trainers, the ones I've come across, I just think they're weak, and they hide behind their certification, and they've replaced bodybuilders, and I got an issue with that. So that's personal for me. All right. The next question, Efrem, in your video, Science versus Training, you talked about angle training. Can you please explain what angle training is and what the benefits of angle training are? Robert K. Okay, Robert K. I learned a long time ago that the body grows from angles. And I learned that early in my career, starting as a natural bodybuilder. And what I learned is, in one of my videos, I explained that I spent 5 years, every year I went to Venice Beach, California, I went to the Mecca. And there were two trainers that I went and saw, Robbie Robinson and Charles Glass. And the reason I went and saw them was because they're champions. They've worked with the best bodybuilders in the world. And I spent time at Venice Beach at the Mecca Gold's Gym just watching them. I was a fly on the wall. So what I learned from them is that when they train professional bodybuilders, they angle train them, which means that they use every available piece of equipment in the gym to hit the muscle from different angles. That's really the only way how you can grow is, you make the muscles respond to angles. The more angles that you hit your muscles with, the more developed you're going to become, and the more dense your muscle becomes, the more conditioned your muscle becomes, because it's not going to be used to just doing dumbbells. It's not going to be used to just doing barbells. It's just not going to be used to just doing machines. So I angle train, and that's what I do with all of my clients. I hit the entire body from different angles, and especially with my female clients, they really like that more because they get to see more growth within their bodies when it comes to muscle. So that's what angle training is. Angle training is hitting your muscle groups from different angles with a variety of exercises and all machines, free weights, and barbells. Okay, the next question comes from comes from a woman. Her name is Linda S. Thank you, Linda S. I haven't had a response from a woman. This is the first woman. She says, Efrem, in your video supplementation, will you ever switch your current stack that you are on? And do you recommend for ectomorphs to take a pre and post workout supplement? That's from Linda S. So there's a couple things I want to say about supplementation. And the reason that I did that video is because I wanted everyone to see exactly the stack that I'm on and what is working for me. I'm not a big proponent of supplements because I know supplement companies exploit and they make billions of dollars. It's a $1 billion industry off of fear and ignorance. I believe so. When I first started training in 1991, and even when you look at Arnold Schwarzenegger and the pumping iron generation, they didn't rely on supplements at all. They went in the gym and they trained, point blank period. They ate well, they trained, they had a good time, and they grew. That's what they did. But what has happened is, once again, you have another industry that's gotten involved, right? And supplementation has gone out the roof. I believe, I read an article one time that said that when I first started training around 1991, there were like 8,000 supplements on the market. Today, there's close to over 100,000. So people don't know what to take, what not to take. And, I can't tell you what to take and what not to take. What I did in my supplementation videos, I just shared with you what I stack, okay, and what works for me. Because everything I'm putting in my body, the body naturally produces. The body produces amino acids, the body produces creatine, okay? So, I found out what works for me and I stick to it. So I will never have to change my current stack. I could stay on that for the rest of my life, actually. And as far as Ectomorphs, taking a pre and post workout supplement, that's your choice. If you're asking me, do I? Absolutely not. There's no reason for an ectomorph to take anything before or after they train. I just don't agree with that. Once again, supplement companies making money, and they rely on the fact that, being on YouTube, there's a bunch of young kids. And young kids, I've worked with children over 20 years. And young kids, when they get across information, they put a lot of pressure on their parents, and their parents eventually break down and they end up doing what their children ask them to do. So, there's a lot of money involved, and I think it's much deeper than just taking something before and taking something after. The supplement industry is a $1 billion industry, and I don't think for the most part the supplement industry is interested in the well-being of fitness and health. I just don't believe that. That has not been my experience, okay? So there you go. That's my opinion, okay? The fourth question is, Efrem, why haven't you ever used steroids or performance-enhancing drugs? That comes from Dean R. Okay, so as far as steroids go, right? You've heard me say in many of my videos, I don't care whether or not you're 100% natural or drug-free. I don't. The reason I've never used steroids or any performance enhancement drugs is because it's never been an option. When I first started training in 1991, I fell under the direct guidance of my older brother, rest in peace. My older brother passed away in 2010 of colon cancer. And he was my personal trainer for 20 years. I was under my older brother, Lester Martin Jr., for 20 years. I learned everything that I know and apply today from my older brother, who was a natural bodybuilder. And, he just taught me everything that I know. So, it was never an option for me, and I never considered it, because I remember when I first started training, I was only 130 pounds. So, looking around and seeing all these big guys, I just wasn't interested in their bodies or their body types. I've always been interested in aesthetics. One of my favorite bodybuilders of all time is Frank Zane. You can Google him, and even Steve Reeves. I mean, if you look at these men, their bodies were just sculptures. I consider the body as a sculpture. I consider the body as art. And I have enjoyed over the last 20 years sculpting my body. At 48 years of age, all the muscle that I have, I've earned it. And I know my body's beautiful. And the reason I say that is because I've sculpted it myself. I don't care what other people think. I've sculpted my body the way I felt that it needed to be sculpted. So, steroids, it's never been an option for me. That's why I've never used them. I've never even considered it. It's never crossed my mind. You get approached in the gym. You're going to. If you train, you're going to get approached in the gym by guys telling you, you've got this great looking physique, and hey, if you want to take it to a new level, you need to do X, Y, Z. Well, that's never been an option for me. So since it's never been an option for me, I never used steroids or performance enhancing drugs, okay? So that's my response. That's my answer. Okay, the last question. Okay, let me see. That was by Dean R, by the way, that last email. Okay, so the last question is from Sean W. Sean W. asks, Efrem, what do you think about some of the YouTubers that are giving advice to ectomorphs regarding their training, supplementation, diet, and nutrition, even though they are not ectomorphs, and most of them don't look like they compete as bodybuilders. That's from Sean W. You know, once again, I think YouTube, I said in my last video or one of the videos before that, YouTube is a great venue for your voice to be heard. I'm a proponent of free speech. I'm a proponent of free expression. So I believe this, that everyone has a right to say whatever they want. You know, whether you choose to believe it or not is up to you. The reason I'm on YouTube is because, you know, I want to give information and help ectomorphs become better. You know, and that's through my own putting my time in the gym and learning what I've learned. So as far as giving advice to ectomorphs, if you're not an ectomorph, absolutely you could be the recipient of that. I've received a ton of great information over the years from true champions who were not ectomorphs. They've given me great tips. You know, I'm a person, I process information. So if something works for me, I'll use it. If not, I don't, it doesn't, you know, I won't consider it. I only take in information if it's going to help me become better. Other than that, I really don't listen to a lot of people. And that's why I think no, that's not why I think, that's why I know I look the way I do today, because, you know, when you decide that you're going to compete as a bodybuilder, or you've got everybody in your ear. You know, everybody becomes, you know, an expert. Well, do this, do that, train this way, train that way. You know, and most of these guys have never been on stage. And I don't listen to anyone who's never competed. I just don't. If you've never been a champion, your words are not valid for me. And I'm just talking about me in general. I don't listen to you because I know what it takes to go through a pre-contest. I know what it takes to get on stage. I know what it takes, you know, to get your physique, you know, particularly an ectomorph, what it takes for us to get our physiques on stage is so different from a mesomorph and an endomorph. I'm going to give you an example of that. You know, I've come across information on YouTube. There's a lot of young kids that are uploading videos that are talking about, you know, bulk this, cut this. You know, if you bulk and you're an ectomorph, you gain size, then you can cut, and then you'll look lean. Well, that's not true. Because when you're an ectomorph, we naturally have low body fat. We naturally have long limbs. We naturally have small bones. Our metabolism is off the chain. So that's misinformation. Anybody that tells an ectomorph to bulk up and then cut, that's misinformation. Okay? Because that doesn't work for us. When you gain weight as an ectomorph, it is your goal to maintain that weight, not cut it. So if you're a bodybuilder and you're an ectomorph like myself, okay, I'm 200 pounds. So I wouldn't dare cut my calories when I'm getting ready for a show. What I do is I increase my calories, is what I have to do. I increase my calories and I add cardio. And then I get ripped and I become shredded more than what I already am. That's what happens. But see, the problem is this. Everybody is an expert on YouTube, right? Everybody has something to say on YouTube. So it's very confusing for a lot of these young kids. It's very confusing for a lot of ectomorphs because they don't know. They've never competed. They've never been on stage. So they can only go by the information that they have. I'm telling you as an ectomorph, you should never decrease your calories. If you're going to do a physique show or a bodybuilding show and you're an ectomorph, you have to increase your calories. Because if you decrease your calories, you're going to lose muscle. You're going to lose weight. You can't afford to lose muscle or weight. If you're a 190 pound ectomorph, you cannot cut down to 170. That's not going to work for us. Okay, I'm telling you, ectomorphs, we're going to look skinny and we ain't going to look right because you've lost 20 pounds. So we can't afford to lose anything in our frames. So we have the opposite effect of mesomorph and endomorphs. Now, mesomorphs and endomorphs have to cut calories. You know, there's a lot of endomorphs that compete as bodybuilders. Some of these guys are like 260, 270. They have to cut their weight down to 220 to compete as a heavyweight. That's 40 pounds they have to lose to look good. Well, that's what they got to do. We can't do that. As an ectomorph, you can't be 200 pounds, cut down to 180 and expect to get on stage and look good. It's just not going to happen. I'm telling you. So when I compete again in 2015, I'm 200 pounds now. Whatever weight I am, if I'm 205, I'm going in at 205. I'm not cutting nothing. I'm not cutting no calories. I'm not cutting no food. I'm not cutting nothing. I'm increasing my calories. I'm not cutting anything, okay? So I want to make that clear, Ectomorph. We cannot cut. We cannot bulk. There's no such thing as bulking when you're an ectomorph. Whatever weight you earn as an ectomorph, you keep. We don't bulk. We don't get fat. We don't get out of shape. If you're an ectomorph and you train in the gym, your body is always going to be lean. It is. That comes with being an ectomorph. We're blessed that way. The metabolism is always going to be off the hook though. It's always going to be high. So your food choices and your food source becomes critical, right? To maintain your weight. So that's what I'm telling you, ectomorphs, right? You can't listen to everything that you see on YouTube. You can't, all right? So it's best that you do your own research and you apply what you think is going to work for you. And that's how you figure things out. After 22 years, like I said in one of my earlier videos, it took me 10 years to figure out exactly what I was doing with my nutrition and how my body responded. It took me about 10 years to figure out my body. But once I figured it out, I've been on point since, So it's trial and error. I can't generalize and say, this is going to work for you, or this is not going to work for you. I've only worked with a few ectomorphs. And the ectomorphs that I work with have been so appreciative of my knowledge because I'm an ectomorph. And when they look at my physique, they're like, that's obtainable. Thank you. Finally, I have something to look at in the model. Okay? So that's the last email that I got. And, once again, this is going to be part one of 2 parts. Okay? I've got 5 more questions that I'm going to be addressing in part 2. Very interesting questions as well. So thank you for your time. Once again, ectomorphs, thank you. Okay? I'm blessed on so many levels to be able to be in front of you to present what I know over the last 22 years, what has worked for me. And hopefully, what you're getting out of these videos is something that can help you become better as a human being first and foremost. And, whether you decide to go into physique or bodybuilding, it's, you can do it. I'm telling you, ectomorphs do not allow anyone to stop you. If you want to become a bodybuilder, make it happen. If you want to do physique, make it happen. I mean, we can do whatever mesomorphs and endomorphs do. Okay? So don't believe the hype. If you want to compete, make it happen. Bottom line is hard ass work. Period. No way around it. Hard ass work. Okay. I'm out, ectomorphs. It's been a pleasure. Peace.